fiber friends. Welcome back to the Stitches Be Slippin podcast. My name is Melissa. I'm in a bit of a different location today because it's very gloomy and dark and overcast and rainy. And it's way too dark in my knitting room to podcast in there today. So I'm sitting in my kitchen at my dining table. This is my kitchen table. And sitting beside a large window. Hopefully that will give me some natural light. If you can probably tell, I'm a little under the weather today. I'm actually supposed to be at work today. So hopefully I don't get fired for calling in sick and then recording a podcast, but at least this will serve as evidence that I am actually not feeling well. I got, Mom, don't freak out. My mom had her knee surgery a few weeks ago, and I was supposed to go visit with her for the weekend right after she got home from the hospital. And then a bunch of people in my circle, I guess you could call it, not anyone I had direct contact with, but people who had direct contact with the people I do have. Anyway, some friends of friends, some COVID was going around, and so Mom was a little anxious about that, but enough time passed that I was able to go for one day, and I tested myself, and the people that I know that were exposed to COVID had tested themselves regularly, and it was okay. So I went and spent a day with her that weekend and helped her with her ice machine, and we just sat and had a good visit. My dad had his year-end golf tournament wind-up thing that he really wanted to go to, so he really wanted me to come and hang out with Mom, and so that was good. Anyway, I was not sick then, and a full week passed since I was there, and then I got sick, so I'm pretty sure I contracted this somehow, some way. My kids haven't been sick, my husband hasn't been excuse me. My husband hasn't been sick. Everyone else I know that is sick had COVID. I've been testing myself. I'm negative, so I seem to have just spontaneously somehow contracted a cold from somewhere else, apparently. I'm never one that gets sick, so this is very odd for me to be the one in the house that's sick. I'm usually not. Anyway, don't freak out, Mom. It's okay. Sorry, I'm gonna try not to make those gross sniffly noises. I'm actually, I think, on the mend. Yesterday was really bad. I couldn't breathe. I was just coughing all the time. I was still up all night coughing last night and stuff, but it seems to be getting a little bit better. Hopefully I can go to work tomorrow, but we'll see. Yeah, so this may be I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. My regularly scheduled podcast should have been yesterday. I'm like trying to get back on the regularly scheduled routine, and yesterday I was just not feeling it at all. I don't think I've barely moved yesterday. So, I haven't really prepared very much, but I figured, since I'm feeling a little bit like I could just sit and talk, then maybe I should just get this done today so it's not another week. So yeah, I did go to the farm last weekend, or not last weekend, the weekend before last weekend. My brain's also not entirely clear today, so there's not going to be a lot of chit chat, so you don't have to listen to this nasal grossness for too long. Yeah, I couldn't even think of really many things to update you on anyway. Besides, we did turn our basement into a skate park, so I'll try and put a picture up here of what that looks like. It's been really fun, actually. And in true kid fashion, as soon as we do something and make it available to our kids, they no longer want to do it. But it's really fun for me and my husband because we are really into it and we like it. So we go down there and practice, and then once we go down there and practice, then, sorry, that's my ring on my mug. Then once we go down there and they hear us down there, then they come down. They're like, oh, well, maybe I'll do something too. So that's been fun. And I also learned a new skateboarding trick at my skateboarding lessons last week. So I was pretty proud of myself for that. Yeah, so that's really all that's been going on. Been knitting a lot and going to work. We've been very busy at work. I don't even think I really very properly introduced myself at the beginning. Did I say my name is Melissa? My name is Melissa, and I'm a knitter and a crocheter and various fiber art related things. Not necessarily always fiber art related, but mostly. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I work as a yarn dyer at Polka Dot Creek Yarn in Airdrie, and that is really fun. It's been very busy lately. Shelly, who owns Polka Dot Creek, has been having lots of ideas, which is her favorite thing, and they're all working out really well. We've got a lot of yarn. We've been dyeing a lot of yarn, and we've got a lot of yarn shipping out very soon. Lots of Christmas advents. Those have been dyed for months. And Halloween stuff, and now she's doing a blanket club, which is really fun. Go check out her page. I may be overreaching. I don't know. I can't remember when I think you can still get them. Go check it out. It's, you get like minis in a certain color palette every month, and they're following a pattern. Like I said, I can't remember much, but go check out, she's got all the details on her Instagram page, Polka Dot Creek, at Polka Dot Creek Instagram. I'll put it on here. Wow, I probably shouldn't be doing this today because I can't think of anything. Okay, but let's power on because, yeah, I've been drinking like liters of tea a day. Just try to stay hydrated. Okay, so let's talk about some knitting. What I'm wearing is also the only FO that I can show you. Well, first of all, I'm wearing I'm sitting on a bench, so I can't really show it very well. It says Negative Ghost Rider, the pattern is full. And that, of course, is from Top Gun, which is my favorite movie of all time. And yeah, so my knitting that I am wearing is the Comfort Zone shawl by Prof Pearl, which I just tested for her, for Nicole. It's not out yet. I think it's coming out in the beginning of November. I don't think she has a specific date yet, but it is so, I just love it. I love it so much. It was super easy to knit, super quick, and it turned out a really, really nice size, like a really great size. The pattern uses 1 skein of fingering weight and 1 skein of mohair, or if you want to do a DK weight one, then I think it would probably be 2 skeins of DK or something, to turn out a decent size. But yeah, it's like when Nicole showed hers and said she was going to be releasing this pattern, and I immediately pestered her that I wanted to test it for her, and she said yes. As soon as I started knitting it, every time I would sit down and knit, because if you've been here long enough, you know that fingering and mohair is just my absolute favorite. I want to do everything with fingering and mohair because it's just so cozy and I just love it. I'm not sensitive to mohair like some people are. I love it. And so when I sat down and started knitting it, I haven't worked with anything with fingering and mohair for a while because I was doing lots of like summer knitting and just other stuff. And so every time I would sit down and start working on this, I would be like, this is my comfort zone. And I kept thinking that over and over again. And I mentioned that to Nicole, that I said, this is just my comfort zone. Like this shawl, knitting this shawl is my comfort zone. And so she decided to name it the Comfort Zone shawl, which is pretty fun. Anyway, it's a very simple, easy repeat, some garter and some eyelets. And it's a triangle. It's not asymmetrical. Well, it might be just a tiny bit asymmetrical, but And the beauty of this pattern is that you just knit until, I'm not very good at putting these on. I really like just wrapping it around myself like a blanket. The beauty of this pattern is you just knit until you run out of yarn, and then that's how big your shawl is. So I thought that was fantastic. I used an entire skein of fingering weight, and I actually, Nicole's really smart, and she says, you know, get your scale out, and when you're doing those last rows, you know, measure or like weigh your yarn, and then weigh it after another round and see how much you have left, and then see if you have enough left for another what. And I was just so into it. I would look, I all of a sudden had no yarn left because I wasn't paying attention to how much yarn was left in my bag. I knew I was getting very close to the end, and I thought, okay, well, this is a good spot to bind off. So I started binding off, and this is my bind off edge. And right here, I ran out of fingering weight yarn. So I just bound off the rest in just the mohair, and you can't tell. So I used my entire skein of fingering weight yarn, and I had like, I don't know, a few yards of mohair left. I don't have the tags with me. I showed the tags on my last episode. It was a bundle that I bought at the Beehive Wool Shop in Victoria. And it was a skein of fingering weight, 100% merino singles, and a skein of mohair in the same colorway. And it was by fleece artist / handmaiden. One fleece artist was the fingering, I think, and the mohair was the handmaiden fine yarns. I'll link it all below, and I'll write the colorway in below. I think it was called Jacobian. So it worked out really, really. It's such a nice size. I don't love humongous shawls. This is just a really nice size. And yeah, I highly recommend getting that pattern when it comes out. It's a super quick, like if you need a super quick gift knit or something like that, I knit it in just like a few days, 3 or 4 days maybe. And it was really fun. Very, very mindless. Like you really don't have to pay that close of attention. You just pay close attention to how many garter ridges you have. Then you make your eyelet row and you're doing your increases, and it's great. Anyway, thank you, Nicole, for letting me just kind of barge my way into your test knit. And I actually had no feedback whatsoever on the pattern because it's very simple and easy to follow, and it's awesome. So Nicole, Prof Pearl on Instagram. She's also Professor Pearl on YouTube. She has a wonderful YouTube channel that I love watching. I just love to sit and just listen to her. She's so calm and positive and full of joy, and anyway, I did finish one other object, but it was a Christmas gift knit, and I can't show it because the person it is intended for watches this podcast. So I did start a list in my knitting room of FOs of like just Christmas gift knits that I'm making, so that I can, in January, I can at least show you pictures. Hopefully I'll remember to also take pictures of them. I do have a few whips to talk about though, some works in progress. I'm drinking, I think it's raspberry pomegranate tea, which is not my usual. Usually I drink, what is it? Vanilla Earl Grey. Oh, so good. But for some reason, that's just not what I want these days while I'm sick. Okay, first of all, we have the mystery knit along. I am doing the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along this year. This is my first time ever. And I mean, I'm sure you've all heard about the Mystery Knit Along, MCAL for short. This year it's called the Geo Gradient, and it's a 4-color gradient shawl, and the first clue came out last week on Thursday. I'm sure you've all heard of all the stuff that happened after that clue came out. Some people started knitting it, and and even just from watching the clue video, Stephen West publishes a YouTube video with every clue so that everyone can follow along and make sure they're getting all the techniques right and stuff. And just from looking at the end result of clue 1, people were a little because it did sort of resemble a swastika at the end, with just the way that the colors were landing. It was very geometric. It sort of looks like a quilt block almost, but yeah, there was a definite resemblance. And so Stephen West was immediately like, oh man, he was so, a lot of things, a lot of people got heated on Ravelry, and it turned into a thing that it shouldn't have turned into, because people just need to be sensitive of other people. And so eventually he took the original clue completely down. He took the YouTube video completely down and released a new clue, which is just a square with where you do your 4-color gradient outwards. That clue, you're starting in the round in the middle, which isn't really my favorite. And there were some other people who posted on Ravelry some alternatives, and I found one that I liked, and so that's the one that I did. I did knit the entire original clue 1 first, because I saw the resemblance, and I thought that if I rearranged my colors, this was before he told people not to make the original clue. A lot of people were doing the same thing. They were like, I'm just going to rearrange my colors, and if I don't put these dark colors here, then maybe it won't. So I made my entire clue 1, and as soon I couldn't really tell as I was making it, because you kind of make it in 4 different sections, and I couldn't tell until I had all 4 sections done and assembled, and it still definitely resembled a swastika. It was just a light pink one instead of a dark one. So I was like, nope, can't put this in my shawl. So I found an alternative clue that I liked, which is one that one of Stephen West's test knitters, she knitted, and she posted on Ravelry, and a lot of people liked it, and so a lot of people asked her to post her instructions on how she made it. I'll put up hers here. I love it. I love the bright colors. And every time I see someone else's picture of clue 1, I'm like, oh, why didn't I do those colors? Oh, why didn't I do those colors? I'm a very much grass is greener on the other side kind of person. But anyway, my colors are lovely. Then they worked out just fine. But so that's the alternative that I chose, and I finished it yesterday. So it's not blocked or anything like that. And the triangles are supposed to meet in the middle, but something wonky happened. Where is it? Here. I think when I was joining this triangle to this triangle, something bad happened here. And then that made it so that something bad happened here. And then when I attached them all, so we're just going to pretend that they all meet here nicely in the middle. And we're going to move on, because after I knit, this is 340 stitches around at the outside, I think. It's 85 stitches per side of the square. So after I knit the entire original clue one and then knit this entire clue, this is fingering weight and this is changing colors a million times. Once I got to the point where it was done and this didn't meet in the middle, I was like, I don't give a flying fuck. It's good enough, and it's going to be a giant shawl, and it will just blend in with all of everything else, and it will be fine. Embracing imperfection. So that is my clue one. I will show you colors. I am using all Polka Dot Creek yarn, and this is we have a new non-superwash base that is absolutely gorgeous. It is a high twist. It is 100% merino. It's just non-superwash merino, and it is. You would absolutely never be able to tell if you were feeling this and feeling superwash merino. You would never be able to tell. It is unbelievably soft. The base is actually, what is it? 20.5 micron merino. So it is like insanely soft. It's just a beautiful, beautiful base. So we got this base in a little while ago, and we've dyed up a bunch of colors on it, and they're available in the shop. So if you want to go check that out, the colors that I'm using are vintage. Look at that twist. Isn't that amazing? Oh, so this is vintage. This is dusty rose. This is antique mauve. My hand's not big enough. And this is chestnut. So that is my gradient from light to dark. Aren't they pretty? Yeah. So I didn't rip out my clue one yet. I'm not going to show it because it absolutely looks like a pink swastika, so I'm not going to show it. I'm saving it in case I run out of yarn at the end, because that was an entire clue one and this was an entire clue one. So I still have quite a bit of yarn left, and Stephen West said in his video that you should still be able to get, if you've finished clue one already, you should still be able to do the whole shawl. So I'm just keeping it in there just in case. And yeah, I mean, I could rip it out, but I'll save that for another tear-filled session later. Yeah, so this is my clue one. It feels very brown at the moment. I'm hoping for some larger sections of the lighter colors to come. I might actually I definitely, the second the first clue came out, I fast forwarded to the end of the video to see what the clue looks like. I know a lot of people do the same thing. So I'm going to be fast forwarding to the end of each clue video to see what it looks like and what the dominant colors are and stuff. And because I don't want a giant like poop shawl. I know it's a beautiful color, but brown isn't, I don't wear a lot of brown, and I really love all of these pinks in here, so I want those to be kind of more dominant, so I might switch my colors around depending on what the clues look like. So we'll see how that goes. Sorry, I got really close there, reaching for some other stuff. Oh, I didn't tell you about my bag though. I think I've showed this bag before. Sorry, it's crinkly. I've got some candies in here. This is a bag by Alyssa, who is Her Leather Co., and she is a local leather maker in Calgary. Her bags are just beautiful and so functional and so usable. I've got so much stuff in here. There's my candy. And I've got 4 skeins of yarn in here. I got my my other clue. I got tons of stuff in here. These are great bags. Big pocket on the outside, more pockets on this side, And there's pockets on the inside too on this side. No, on this side here. You can't see it. Anyway, it has a magnet here to close it, but I got too much stuff in there. But yeah. Anyway, Alyssa makes beautiful project bags, so go check her out. I'll link her below as always. And then what else did I got here? I got another whip. This in my last episode I showed I had finished the clove sweater, and that was the purple sweater that I put on kind of halfway through my episode last time. And I love it so much. I've been wearing it constantly, and I wanted to make another one. So I used, sorry for all the ums. I used Sonder Yarn Company Sunday Morning DK for that purple one in the colorway called and I absolutely loved it. I bought that Sonder yarn at Knit City when I went to Knit City in Montreal in the spring. And I also bought another sweater quantity of yarn for a different pattern. And then I loved this clove one so much that I decided to use this other sweater quantity for another clove. So this, oh, I just saw that you can see my reflection in the door back there. That's the door to downstairs to the skate park. So I had purchased this Sonder Yarn Co. Sunday Morning DK. I bought these colors. This is the main color, and then these are this color I'm using for stripes. I was going to make a different pattern that is a specifically striped pattern, but I decided to use this for another clove and just add some stripes in. So this colorway is Flat White, is the name. Oh, it says right there, Flat White. And this colorway is called Cover to Cover. And it's a really beautiful, like deep dark blue. And so I'm making another clove. I've got the body done and got some stripes in it. So I think it's gonna work out really, really nice. I just finished the front ribbing last night. And if you'll remember, it has a split hem. So I'm gonna do the back ribbing a little bit longer than the front because that's just how I like it. And then I just have to pick up the collar and do the sleeves. And it's a drop shoulder, which is quickly becoming my favorite sweater construction. Not only because I really like the way it fits, though just the way it sits on my body, but also because when it's a drop shoulder, like the sleeves don't start, you don't have to start knitting sleeves. So it's like just the way, oh man, my brain is so not working well today. Just with the way that where the sleeve lands when you pick up your stitches, you're really only knitting like half a sleeve instead of like really long sleeves. So that I'm a big fan of. I hate knitting sleeves. If you haven't been here for a while, I hate knitting sleeves, but it's going to be great. So it's going to have stripes on the sleeves too. I'm going to, when I pick up, I know it looks like it's gonna look weird, but this part here, once it's picked up, like the color, it'll look good, trust me. Hopefully it'll be done for the next podcast because I have other plans. I'm pretty sure that the MCAL is going to start taking up all of my knitting time. Clue 1 was small enough that it didn't, like last year the Clue 1 was insane. It was like bonkers amount of knitting. So I'm expecting that the next few clues are going to become bonkers. But in the meantime, I like always having a sweater on the needles, and I wasn't going to have any sweaters on the needles while I was doing the MCAL, but this clove sweater is very easy to follow, and so I like having one of these on my needles. I have a feeling I'm going to be making about 10 or 15 clove sweaters just because I really love it. I want to make some in fingering and mohair, because yes, please. I have some other, I have a lot of possibilities. I've really lately, like the leaves are all changing. Everything is yellow and orange and red in my backyard. You can't see it from where I'm sitting, but it's beautiful. And I keep thinking I need to wear something fall colored, and I don't have anything fall colored. Those are not the colors I normally knit with, but I do have some yarn in my stash that I want to use to make another clove with, so I have a fall sweater. Yeah, so that second clove sweater, and again, I'll link the pattern below. It's by Rachel Kurihara, and it's a great pattern. I really, really love it. It's a DK weight, if I didn't mention that before. That's living in a bag that my mom made me for my birthday this summer. And the pattern is one of the Fringe Supply Co. bags. Fringe Supply Co. doesn't make bags anymore, but you can buy the pattern on Grainline Studio website. I'll put the link down below. And so she bought the pattern because she knows how much I love those. I loved those fringe bags. And so she made one for me for my birthday. Okay, I'm gonna put that on the table. Okay, and I did also start, before I started the MCAL, I've been trying to be good about getting lots of Christmas knitting on my needles. And I started, you're not gonna be able to see very much. I'll put a picture up here of the leafing cowl, and it is, oh shoot, the leafing cowl by, I don't know who it's by. I'll put the link below with the name of the pattern designer. But it's a cute cowl, and you can make it in different weights. And I'm making it with Hobby Divina, this is the yarn that I used for my last Amapola cardigan, the blue cardigan that I had in a few episodes ago. So I've just started it, so you can't really see much, but this is what I've started. And what color is it? I can't remember. Color 28. I think it was called Seafoam or something, but it's color 28. From Hobby or Hobie. And yeah, so this is going to be, I think, a teacher gift. You can't really see. I've just started doing the lace. So that's like the beginning of a leaf there. I don't know if you can. I can't really put anything behind it so you can see. That's a little bit better. So I'm just kind of randomly working on that whenever. I actually haven't worked on it since the MCAL started, but it's just good to have it on the needles and be able to work on it whenever I want, whenever I have a minute. That's living in an actual Fringe Supply Co. bag, which, like I said, you can't buy anymore, but I love it. I have 2 or 3 of the actual Fringe Supply Co. bags, and they're the best. They're very sturdy, and drawstring, which is my favorite. My legs are starting to fall asleep because I'm sitting on a bench with my legs crisscross applesauce, and it's getting uncomfortable. So I only have a few more things. This is going to be a really short episode, which is very unlike me, but I'm also getting very close to needing to blow my nose. So, oh, this sticker says, "My yarn is calling and I must go." I don't know if I can get that to focus, but this is from this maker. It's called Hissy Knit on Instagram. She's one of the ladies that I work with at Polka Dot Creek, named Jessie, and she makes stickers and all kinds of fun, cute things. She has stitch stoppers for the end of your needles. She got some really, really cute ones in just in the last couple days that are sweaters, so you can have little sweater stitch stoppers on the ends of your needles. I actually pre-ordered one, and I have to pick it up when I actually make it to work. It's sitting there waiting for me. So go check out Hissy Knit. I'll put the Instagram handle here, and I'll link down below for, I think she has an Etsy shop, I believe. Okay, are you guys, oh my god. Sheila. My new best friend, Sheila. She lives in Connecticut and she's amazing. She is an absolute legend, let me just tell you. I don't know if you'll remember this. This was a while ago. I got it in my brain that I needed to make a granny square cardigan. And I immediately cast it on, dropped everything else I was doing, and just crocheted like an absolute fucking maniac. And I made all these squares. I found this pattern that I loved. It's called Ariana. It's a free pattern, so I'm not giving it, I mean, this is just the gauge and information page anyway, but that's what it looks like. It's by Amy Christoffers, who is the woman who wrote like all the pressed flowers patterns and stuff. This was a collaboration she did with Barocco yarn. So this is what it looks like. So all of those granny squares are all crocheted, and then they're all joined together, and then you pick up and knit the collar and the hem and the cuffs. And if you'll remember, I whipped up all those granny squares in no time. Sheila's probably just cringing as she's listening to this. As I was making all of those granny squares, I was just crocheting over my ends, thinking that's good enough. And I got all my granny squares all made, and then I started joining them. And then all my granny squares started falling apart because I snipped the ends too short, and it was a disaster. And then I was trying to follow this free pattern that is, in all honesty, not written entirely. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sheila had no fucking problem putting this together. So the pattern didn't make sense for my brain and the way my brain works. And when I tried to join all of my squares together, it did not resemble a sweater. It was a hot mess, and I had to put it in the timeout corner, and it had to think about what it did for a while. And then I ripped out all the joins and tried joining it again after a little while, and it's still just my brain and looking at the pattern, like I couldn't get it. It just stressed me out, and it made me feel stupid. And I put it back in the timeout corner for quite a while. When I picked it out again, I was like, I can't do this again. When I mentioned it the very first time, my lovely friend Sheila from Connecticut messaged me and said, send it to me and I will put it together for you. I've been crocheting for years and years and years, and I'm sure that I can do this. And so when I finally took it back out again, I was like, okay, I'm gonna reach out to Sheila and see if she will possibly do this for me. So I reached out, and she was like, absolutely, send it to me, no problem. And so I sent it to her. I sent her some presents to say thank you so much. And she, it was still in the state where I had joined it all together again, and it didn't make any sense whatsoever. And then I had just said fuck it and put it away. So I just put that in there. I put the yarn in there. I put some presents in there. And she received it, and she, I think, probably looked at it and was like, I don't know what the hell this woman was doing. So she had to rip it all out and rejoin it, and she did it. She rejoined it, and it resembles a sweater. It resembles a cardigan. It's amazing. Let me do this. So this just arrived yesterday, and I squealed when I opened it and saw, oh my God. So I still have to knit the collar and the button band and stuff. Oh my God, my ass is fully asleep. Sorry, I'm gonna sit on my knees for a bit. Okay, look at that. It looks like a sweater, you guys. Isn't that amazing? Oh my God, I love it so much. So, look, it has a shape, it has a neck, it has a button, like it has a V, it has sleeves, like, oh, Sheila, you're an absolute legend. So, I am I think probably once I finish my striped clove sweater, then I'm gonna get to work on this, picking up all the stitches all the way around, making my collar, my button band, and yeah. So Sheila, you are my hero. I can't thank you enough. It's just another reminder to me of how wonderful this community can be sometimes. Because like I know that I wouldn't hesitate if someone said, I need something, I can't figure this out. I would not hesitate, and I would reach out and be like, I will do it for you. Like, this is something I know how to do and whatever. And Sheila is obviously a better granny square cardigan crocheter than I am, and I fully recognize that, and I bow down to you. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because now I'm going to have this amazing cardigan. And yeah, so thank you. Thank you, Sheila. Everybody, thank you, Sheila. And hopefully I'll have that done for the next time too. Also depends on the MCAL. Everything over the next month or two depends on how the MCAL is going. I'm sorry, I need some more tea. I'm almost done. Okay. I just have a couple of little acquisitions. I haven't been acquiring too much lately because I've been busy doing other stuff and trying not to spend all my money. Sonder actually had a sale on the weekend, and I was very tempted to order some more sweater quantities because I love that DK base so much, but I have too many sweater quantities that I need to knit. So that's, I was good. I restrained. Oh yeah, by the way, I got bangs. You probably noticed that the second you turned this on, and I got 40 minutes in without mentioning it. They're not, I mean, I'm not at my peak cuteness today because I'm sick, and I just, anyway, they're usually like bangs like all the way across and whatever, and they sometimes just do whatever they want. So I haven't had bangs in a really long, the only time I've ever had bangs is when I had really short hair. Like I had like a pixie cut after I had my second kid. I had really, really long hair, and it was just too much, and I cut it all off. I think a lot of women do that. They're just like, this is something I can't handle. Anyway, so I used to have really, really short hair for a very brief amount of time, and then I immediately started growing it out because I just like long hair. Anyway, ranting. I have 2 acquisitions to show you, and then I'm gonna blow my nose. Recently, a maker in our Calgary community, her name is Leslie. She is the LB tree. I'll put that on here because it's spelled differently than you would think. She makes beautiful project bags and backpacks, and she's a quilter. She works at one of our local quilt shops, and she just makes really beautiful things. And her mom recently got really, really sick, and has not been doing well, and so Leslie has been spending a lot of time out in BC with her mom. And her mom also is a maker and makes lots of project bags and stuff, and they've been trying to fundraise because she's going through a lot of medical treatments and things. So as a one part of their fundraiser, they put up a sale on all of Leslie's mom's bags. Her business name is called 2 Sticks and You, EWE, and I'll put a link to that below. I don't know if the shop is still open. They put a sale on to just try and sell a bunch of bags and kind of bring in some income. So I bought a couple of bags in that sale. I didn't use the sale code because I figured if they're trying to raise money, why would I spend less money? So anyway, I bought 2 bags. One of them I can't show because it's a gift for someone else, but I got this one for myself because it's so cute. This is obviously Tula pink fabric because it's fucking fabulous. Look at all those little giraffes, and the colors are so cool. And this is one of those ones where you look at the inside too. Hot damn. I love it. And this is one of those ones where you can like put the strap through, and it would be a good one for knitting and for walking and knitting, and you can like hang it off of your arm, and I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm working on it. So anyway, I loved that one, and I wanted to support them and help them raise some money for her treatments. So there is that. And then I also got a Lumos light. I just got it yesterday, so I haven't really I tried it out last night, just briefly before I passed out in bed. So it like goes around your neck, and then it's got buttons on it. It turns the light on. You can change the temperature of the light, so you can have like that's warm light, cool light, and then I think if you hold it down you can adjust the brightness. So but like when it's around your neck, and then this stuff you can like, it stays wherever you want to point it, so you can really like zoom it in however you want on what you're working on. And this is going to come in really handy for me because I do a lot of knitting in bed. Like when we go to bed at night, we watch Netflix for a bit, and we don't have the bedroom light on. I just have my lamp on my nightstand on, and quite often I'm like, oh, I can't see. So this is going to come in handy for that. And also we have, with our kids, we have movie nights on the weekends, and the boys are always very insistent that we turn off all the lights, so it feels like we're at the theater watching movies, which makes it very difficult for me to knit. So this is going to come in very handy for that too. I have actually like one of those little, it's like a clip with a light on it, but that doesn't always work. I'm not always sitting somewhere where I can clip it on, and it's not the brightest light anyway, so this is going to come in handy for that. So I'm very happy with this. I ordered this from, what was it called? I don't remember the name of the shop. I'll write it down here. It was out in Ontario somewhere. I just Googled Lumos light, and a bunch of yarn stores in Canada carry them, but a bunch of them were sold out. So I found one out in Ontario somewhere that still had some in stock. So I will put that down there. And that's it for me for today. I'm getting very stuffed up, and I need to go blow my nose, and I need to go work on my clove sweater and drink 10 more gallons of tea. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm up to today. Look at this cardigan. It looks so cute, even just like this. I told her to leave the ends, so I've got some ends to weave into, but that's okay. This is all non-superwash yarn. I didn't mention anything about the yarn because I can't really remember. This was all just yarn from my stash. So I just kind of pulled a bunch of different stuff that was like kind of leftovers and half skeins and stuff like that, and put them all together. So I can't really give you a lot of details about the yarn, but it is all non-superwash. So I can probably just leave those and they'll felt themselves after a while. Sounds good to me. Anyway, hope everyone out there is, if you're doing the MCAL, hope you're enjoying the new clue and the new direction. Stephen West is I really admire how he's handled this in the face of people being mean to him. And obviously this was not an intentional design feature that he came up with, and he was absolutely horrified. And like in his video where he was addressing the new clue, and that he had taken down the old video and the old everything, and they're not even going to allow pictures of the original clue on for people to post on Ravelry, any of that. And he made a video to address that, and he got very emotional in it because it's been very difficult on him, and he is he's just a really beautiful soul. He's just a human, like he's a loving, kind, empathetic human being. And after that video, I was like, I don't care what he throws at me for the rest of this shawl, I will make it, because he is a top-notch person, human being. Anyway, I'm just rambling now, and I really need to go. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Bye.